Alright guys, Batman 2. We've got new casting. Sebastian Stan is apparently joining the cast. And Barry Keoghan is looking like he's going to be returning as well as the Joker. So, bit of a stacked cast, to be honest. This is like 2 days old now, so I do apologise. But it went under my radar. I'm looking forward to the Batman. Or Batman 2. Loved the Penguin. If you haven't watched the Penguin, you are doing yourself a monumental disservice. It is impeccable TV. I go so far as to say absolute cinema. Genuinely, like I know it's the meme, but it is wow. The Penguin's brilliant. Well worth checking out. Well worth checking out. Even if, and this is like a hot take, but even if you didn't like the Batman, well worth checking out the Penguin. Because it stands alone, just as its own little thing. We will get to this news, but I want to talk about the Penguin just briefly. It stands alone as its own little gangster, like, drama thing. It's brilliant. Mob bosses. Epic. Go watch it. And Kristen Milioti. Oh, Jesus. Anyway, let's take a look at the news, shall we? Stop me fawning over the Penguin. So, this is courtesy of Variety. And they say Sebastian Stan may be headed for Gotham City. So, that's interesting. So, he's in talks to join. Who could he be? Hush? There's lots of rumours floating around as to what the Batman 2, Part 2, whatever you want to call it, is going to be focused on. So, yeah, I do wonder. And they even say, look, Stan is no stranger to costumed heroes and villains, obviously. Bucky Barnes, right? And he's very, very good in that character. But they say it's unclear who he will be playing in the upcoming Dark Knight adventure and whether he will be an adversary or an ally to Bruce Wayne. There was some reports that, yeah, there was some hints at Hush. But then as well, the Riddler, they sort of did that kind of ish with that story. Not fully, obviously, but they sort of wove bits of that in there. Kind of. Anyway, so the long-awaited superhero sequel, which will be directed by Matt Reeves, is expected to begin shooting next spring. Jesus. How long do we have to wait? Madness. And then it'll have an October 2027 theatrical release. I mean, next spring, they're going to shoot it next year and then release it that year. That's some quick turnaround, isn't it? Madness, madness, madness. But they do say the Batman Part 2, written by Reeves and Mattson Tomlin, recently added Academy Award nominee Scarlett Johansson to an already star-studded supporting cast. That's the thing. With Scarlett Johansson and people like Sebastian Stan, you're starting to sort of bulk out the cast with actors who you're not going to pay them their fees, because this is actually quite important, really. It's quite rare that actors will just like join the cast because they want to do it. It is actually quite rare. It does happen. But if you've got the likes of Scarlett Johansson, and then you've also got Sebastian Stan, I mean, these are people that can still, they will command a relatively high fee. So you don't employ them to sit around and do nothing. Right, you just don't. You know, like Scarlett Johansson coming off of Jurassic World Rebirth, whether you liked or hated that film, it made good money for the studio. So her agents, and she also left a film to join this one. I think it was that Rapunzel film, if I remember rightly. I could be wrong, don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty certain it was. It was a Disney live action film anyway. Again, I'm pretty certain it was. So you just don't hire people like that to hang around doing nothing. You just don't. Like, they can command a high fee, and they will more than likely command a high fee, and as such, well, they're going to be in relatively high up roles, you know, big roles. So it's something to consider. Whenever you see casting, think of like how much they could charge to be in the movie. And that'll be a guess as to how prominently they'll be featured. I can't imagine Scarlett Johansson being like, yeah, I definitely want to return to superhero movies. Definitely. Right? I've just left them for like, over a decade. Yeah, I definitely want to rejoin them. So she's probably got a pretty high up role, pretty big, prominent role. And the same for Sebastian Stan, I would imagine. He has a lot to do in the Marvel Universe still. So I can't imagine they would... Yeah, I can't imagine he would sidestep for... Well, he might do a bit part, in fairness. Anyway, whatever. But they also say in this that Barry Keoghan is expected to appear once more as the Joker. Okay, that's good. I'm happy about that. I quite liked his Joker. I thought it was interesting. Really interesting. So, yeah. What are we going to have? What situation can we possibly have here? I want Kristen Milioti to come back as well. That'd be brilliant. There were some reports. People were like, Scarlett Johansson, Poison Ivy. And I'm like, well, maybe, but probably not. Probably not. And they even say this as well, that it's endured a long gestation period as Reeves has worked on top of his critically acclaimed and gritty first take on the comic book adventure. I mean, it's been a long-ass time. It's been a long-ass time. Yeah. I hope it'll be worth the wait, let's put it that way. It's been a long journey, but I'm so incredibly excited. I'm really proud of the script me and Mattson did. And that's what Reeves told Variety at the Emmys in September. So he also revealed the lengths to which the Batman team went to keep the story under wraps. We put the script into a secret pouch that literally has a lock on it with a code. Pattinson was in New York at the time, and everything is high security. So interesting, actually. I don't know what's going to happen. I think people quite like this, actually. I think people are relatively pleased with this as news. I think they'll be good. They'll be good in the movie with whatever they do. They're good actors. Scarlett Johansson can act. Sebastian Stan, I quite like him as an actor, to be honest. And he's been diversifying his portfolio lately. So there you go. To me, the big standout is Barry Keoghan supposed to come back. That is what I'm excited for. But never mind. What do you guys think? Let me know down below. And as always, if you are new here, consider hitting subscribe. Take care. Bye-bye now.